What is different in Judah during the reign of Asa? This is the question we seek to answer today as we continue our verse-by-verse study of the book of 2 Chronicles on Walking Through the Bible.
The glory of his cross.
Today we're going to be discussing 2 Chronicles chapter 14, verses 1 to 8, but before we do that, let's read the passage. If you have a Bible with you, turn to 2 Chronicles chapter 14, verse 1. But if you don't have a Bible, don't worry, just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So 2 Chronicles chapter 14, beginning at verse 1. So Abijah rested with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David. Then Asa his son reigned in his place. In his days the land was quiet for 10 years. Asa did what was good and right in the eyes of the Lord his God, for he removed the altars of the foreign gods and the high places, and broke down the sacred pillars and cut down the wooden images. He commanded Judah to seek the Lord God of their fathers, and to observe the law and the commandment. He also removed the high places and the incense altars from all the cities of Judah, and the kingdom was quiet under him. And he built fortified cities in Judah, for the land had rest. He had no war in those years, because the Lord had given him rest. Therefore he said to Judah, "Let us build these cities and make walls around them, and towers and gates and bars, while the land is yet before us, because we have sought the Lord our God. We have sought him, and he has given us rest on every side." So they built and prospered, and Asa had an army of 300,000 from Judah, who carried shields and spears, and from Benjamin 280,000 men, who carried shields and drew bows. All these were mighty men of valor. We now have come to look at the reign of the third king of Judah, that of Asa, son of Abijah. Looking at our timeline, we note that this reign begins in around 911 BC. Back in our study of 1 Kings, we noted that these years are approximate, as at least until the Assyrian captivity of Israel in 722 BC, the reigns of the kings in Judah are figured in relation to the corresponding king in Israel, and vice versa. 1 Kings 15 verse 1 said that Abijah began reigning in the 18th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, while 1 Kings 15 verse 9 said that Asa began to reign in the 20th year of Jeroboam. Now, at what point of the 18th year and 20th year, we don't know, but what we do know is that inclusive dating is used, which is how we come up with a 3-year reign of Abijah, but only 2 calendar years of his reign. Whether, though, we're in 911 or 910 BC is immaterial, for we know we're in this vicinity. Asa is going to be the longest-serving king in all Israel up until this point, and the major reason behind this is how he is described here in 2 Chronicles 14. Remember, the end of the reign of Solomon brought idolatry into Israel and Judah. This continued during the reign of Rehoboam, even if Rehoboam and the nation did humble themselves for a time after the invasion of Shishak of Egypt. And it continued during the reign of Abijah, even if in the beginning Abijah confessed his trust in the Lord for victory over Jeroboam. This would all change during the reign of Asa. Asa did what was good and right in the sight of the Lord, and for that he was rewarded with 10 years of peace. Remember, Rehoboam and Abijah had been fighting against Israel off and on for 20 years. Shishak had damaged the nation's ability to defend itself, as well as the wealth that was accumulated during the reigns of David and Solomon were gone. If Judah was to survive, there needed to be a reprieve, and Asa's righteousness provided that reprieve from God. But how was Asa righteous? Was it because he was perfect? No, he sinned like everyone else. It was because he took away the idol worship that prevented Judah from worshiping God properly. I think we underestimate sometimes just how much God hates idolatry. Idolatry takes from God that which is rightfully his. The idol is not holy, for it was made by sinful man. The idol cannot create, for God created the material that the idol was made of. The idol cannot provide life, only God can do that. The idol can do nothing, while God can do everything that is good. Therefore, for man to worship something that he created instead of that which created him is unacceptable to God. And as long as man continued to do that, it doesn't matter if true worship was going on in Jerusalem, God was not going to accept the nation as a whole, especially if the king, his representative, led his people to do such. Asa's removal of the idolatry included removing the altars of the foreign gods and the high places, breaking down of the sacred pillars, and the cutting down of the wooden images. It included a commandment for Judah to seek after Jehovah, the God of their fathers, and not after other gods, which are nothing. Now, in saying that Asa removed the high places seems to be in contradiction with what we read of in 1 Kings 15, verse 14, and what we will read in 2 Chronicles 15, verse 17. But what we need to remember is this. Asa is going to reign for 41 years, according to chapter 16. What happens at one part of your reign may not be true at other parts of your reign, and the reign of Asa is not going to end on the absolute best of terms, so it is quite possible that as Asa aged, even though he didn't go after idols himself, some in the nation did, and the high places returned, for they will be present again during the reign of Asa's son Jehoshaphat. Thus, the passages in 1 Kings 15 and 2 Chronicles 15 are giving us an overview of Asa's reign and its condition at the end, while what we have here in 2 Chronicles 14 was at the beginning of Asa's reign. During this time of rest, Asa rebuilt the fortifications in the city of Judah, seemingly making them stronger than before so that they could withstand attack. And to that end, God prospered Asa, giving him the resources to do this. In total, Asa had an army of over 500,000 of Judah and Benjamin who carried swords, spears, and bows, an increase of over 100,000 from the days of Abijah. And this army would be needed, for the period of rest wouldn't last forever, something we'll see, the Lord willing, in the next lesson. With that, our time is up for today. The Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of 2 Chronicles chapter 14, verses 9 to 15, as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time.
Thank you for watching today's episode. We hope that you found it edifying and ask that you not only subscribe to our channel and podcast, but that you like and share this episode among your friends, so that the saving gospel of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world.
Of his